I really enjoyed reading your blog recently where you talked about the theory of inbound marketing management, particularly as it related to B2B marketers. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. So, the theory there was around there's multiple touch points, and many people are using content as their form of creating inbound marketing, right? Inbound marketing is a term that has been coined by a company, HubSpot, up in Boston, which also is in full disclosure, is a sponsor of my blog. So I'm a big fan of their work, and they're a fan of my work as well. But the idea that posting content out in multiple different places creates a pull towards your organization of people who are looking at this content, and how you manage these channels and how you synchronize these channels so that it's a seamless experience. No one's got the secret sauce on that yet, and that's kind of why I was coining my own analyst term, like inbound interaction management, or IIM, right? Is something that I was thinking about on a given morning in the shower, and I was like, there's going to spring up an industry to help you synchronize these channels, right? We bolted on a whole bunch of new media channels at this point, just sort of flip the switches on all of these new channels. But is a customer actually having a consistent experience across all those channels? I would absolutely say no way. I don't know anybody, I don't know of any company that's really creating that really seamless experience. Okay, yeah, maybe Zappos or someone like that where they've got a minimum of channels. They don't necessarily have a direct store business. They've got their online business and their Twitter support and stuff like that. So the small number of channels, highly manageable, sure. But at a true enterprise, large enterprise, Fortune 100 or Fortune 10 kind of company, I don't think we've nailed that, and I think there's a lot of room to go.
So it sounds like actually you're advocating that marketers become publishers to some extent because they're creating content that is sticky to their specific prospect audience. But then there's sort of user-generated content, which is a little bit scary for some marketers. They're not as scared about being their own publishers, but once comments are enabled or a document can take on a life of its own, it's a little bit scary. So can you talk about how marketers should deal with that balance? Should they relegate themselves to being purely publishers, or can they sort of feel comfortable with comments and people adding their own information?
Right. So it's a great question. So it's a chicken egg, right? You sort of have to do, well, it's not really a chicken egg, but you sort of have to do the content creation, publishing piece of the puzzle to get to the second piece of the puzzle. You can't just sort of turn on user-generated, say, okay, hey, we're taking comments. You're not going to get a lot, and B, what you're probably going to get is just the noise that's in the channel, right? There's always noise in every channel. I know people are very concerned about user-generated content, what's going to happen when we start interacting with people. You gotta, sort of grin and bear through that. In two companies that I've sort of turned on to social media, the initial response was always some bit of negativity that comes through the channel, and I'm convinced that there's always noise in the pipe, and that'll come out, and once that's out, you can move on. And sort of people sort of take it out. But the concept of becoming a publisher, I think, is a really important concept. And I was hip to this, 4 or 5 years ago, and hanging out with a lot of my publishing friends at places like Information Week and CIO Magazine, and was watching their businesses, and they were asking me, how do we turn these businesses and start to create more digital stuff? And naturally, I was thinking, hey, I should be, I'm a mini publisher in that sort of way. How do I plug into those pipelines, and how do I create content with my content engine? And I literally have on my desktop a publishing calendar, right? Every week, what's coming out every week. You can ask my team. I bash them on the head. Hey, it's the February 1st. Where's my paper that we said we were going to deliver on this particular day, right? So that we have something to show that we can put into the channel, put into all of these channels, really, to start to elicit that response. And then we'll take the user-generated content on top of it. What do people say? Can they take it? Can they mash it up? Can they use it in some other way? We're open to that. We're giving it away and allowing people to do whatever they want with it.